Morning. So as promised, I'm going to show you how you can do some of these basic matrix algebra on your graphing calculator. So I posted a blank sheet of this, and I'll post my completed work here for you also in our Google Classroom. But let's say we have a 2 by 2 matrix A and a 2 by 3 matrix B, and let's have another 2 by 2 matrix C and then D. Now D is actually a very special matrix. If you have a diagonal from the top left down right of only ones, we call this the identity matrix. So I have a little example that shares with you what happens with the identity matrix. But remember your symbols. So let's say we want to find AB. Can we find this product? Can we multiply 2 by 2 with that? We can, because remember, 2 by 2 matrix multiplied by another 2 by 2 matrix, as long as the end matches the beginning of one, kind of like running a 4 by 4 relay for track. So this runner passes the baton to that runner. That can happen. So how do we use the graphing calculator? All right, so once you turn your graphing calculator on, there is a matrix feature that's shared with the X inverse button, but it's in blue. So you must press second X inverse, and voila, there's the matrix menu. So your matrix are all going to be labeled by different letters of the alphabet, and you have to enter them in. So to enter them in, you have to scroll all the way over to edit. So matrix A, I'm going to edit, enter that, is actually going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. So you have to enter the dimension ahead of time and see what happens. The calculator gets the space ready, and just a matter of you typing everything in. So in row 1, column 1, you wanted 2, enter. In row 1, column 2, I wanted a 0, enter. And then I have to scroll over. Row 2, column 1, I want the number -1. And then row 2, column 2, I want the number 1. So what I just entered in is this matrix A. Enter. Okay. Then I go back to second matrix. I do want a second matrix B, so enter. So you have to arrow down matrix B, which is also a 2 by 2 matrix, and now gives me opportunity. Oh, did I say 2 by 2? Oh, B is a 2 by 3. Oh my gosh, how did I just totally ignore that? Okay, no problem. Easy enough to fix. That's a 2 by 3. So back up here I go, 2 by 3 matrix, and it gets it all ready for me. Alrighty, so my entries are 1, 1, 0. And then I have to scroll on down to row 2, which is a -1, a 2, and a 1. So again, I just entered matrix B here in B. Alrighty, so now I want to multiply matrix A with matrix B. Okay, so back again I go, second matrix, kind of repetitive, I know. But we're going to pick matrix A, so it's number 1, and we're going to multiply that to matrix B, second B. I usually do it differently than this, but no, it's not going to like it. So I got to clear out of there. All right, so this is how I usually do it. Matrix, I select the matrix after I clear out of the menu. So back to matrix B, and then I'll multiply it for me. As long as the dimensions agree. So there you have it. You have a 2 by 3 answer. So that will be your answer for number 1. 2, -2, 2, 1, and finally 0, 1 is what was on my calculator. Alrighty, questions there? Take a moment, maybe replay this part of the video. But one thing I noticed, the calculator is very, very helpful, but there's some parts to it that's kind of tedious, I know. So now if I want to enter another matrix, I have matrix C. I have to go all the way over to edit and choose option number 3. Matrix C is another 2 by 2 matrix, so 2 by 2, and it gets it all ready for me. And matrix C contains the entries -1, 1, and then another -1, 1. So there you have it. So matrix C is entered, and now I want to add matrices. So I'll get out of here, and now I go to second matrix. So again, second matrix under the names, I'm going to pick matrix A, 1, and just hit the plus sign over here. I'm going to add now, again, matrix C. So I'll enter option 3. And as long as everything matches up, I'll even add matrices together. So I get here 1, -2, 1, +2. Alrighty, now off to the identity matrix. So let's enter into matrix D. So second matrix, number 4. Oh, geez, I'm too premature. So second matrix, I need to enter matrix D, so I'll put that in 4 for D. Another 2 by 2 matrix. So this is the identity matrix, 1, 0. And then there's a 1 in that spot. Alrighty, so see the diagonals of 1, that's the identity matrix. So if I get out of there, now I want to multiply matrix A with matrix D. Okay, so second matrix, option A, and I want to multiply that second matrix, number 4 for D. And what you'll see, the A matrix stays the same. So like taking the number 5 and multiplying by 1, 1 is the identity element for multiplication, you get 5. Same idea with matrices. So it turns out we actually get the same matrix A back, which was 2, -1, 0, and 1. Now, let's say we want to multiply matrix B with matrix C. We have all those in here. So second matrix, so B was 2 times second matrix. I think C was 3. The calculator knows that the tail of one didn't match the beginning of the other. So this is the message it'll give to you. So this is not possible. So again, this was a 2 by 3 matrix. We were trying to multiply that to a 2 by 2. Does not exist. DNA does not work, okay? So these are some of the basic operations we first looked at with matrices in day 1 of matrices. We spent a couple of days on that. So again, you still can do orders of operations, adding, subtracting, multiply. We don't divide matrices. But now what about the determinants that we looked earlier this week? Okay, remember the parallel symbols, those are determinants. Well, we can do those too. So if I want to find the determinant of matrix A, okay, I can do that. So I go to second matrix. Under the math menu, these are the operations. Those of you going on and studying actual science or more math, the course you'll take, very fun course called linear algebra. You do a lot of work here with determinants, you transform. There's a lot of neat things in here. You most likely not be able to use in college, but it's a nice tool to have, venture into there. But the determinant is the first option. So now the calculator has a cursor prompt there asking, okay, which matrix you want to find the determinant for. So again, second matrix. I want matrix A, which is already stored there. Close it up, and voila, there's a determinant. So the determinant here is equal to 2, which is good news. Had it been 0, you'll never be able to find the inverse for matrix A. What about A and B? Now I'm pretty certain if I do the same thing here, second matrix, scroll over to math and press number 1. Now if you do second math, you do number 1 times second matrix number 2. Close your parentheses. The calculator knows orders of operations. So find the product of matrix A and B and then calculate its determinant. Did I do the wrong 2? Uh-oh. I picked the wrong 2. 8. Oh, it should have done A times B. Go figure. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is, interesting enough, I'm going to have to do a couple of different things, I guess. I could take matrix 1 times matrix B, 2, and then I can store this into second matrix and pick a new one, I guess, 5E. So now I stored that into E. I can do second matrix, then math, find the determinant of matrix E. So you can store your answer. It's still not liking it. A times. Oh, you know why? That makes sense now. Silly me. So this does not exist. All that extra work for nothing. Because you have here a it's not a square matrix. It's a 2 by 3. So you can find out, you'll see you won't be finding determinants of 2 by 3s. It's either 2 by 2 or 3 by 3s or 4 by 4s. So it does not exist. All that work, which is nice. Gives me a chance to practice something I haven't played around in many, many years. Okay, so it doesn't exist. Wonderful. But you got an idea here. You can store your answers. I kind of like that. The -1 inverses. So that's the new thing for today. There's a couple of ways you can find the inverses, but I think I'm just going to stick with the calculator. But to find the inverse, the reciprocal matrix A, I believe you do second matrix. You pick matrix A. Oh, wait a minute. No, let me double check that. I think I have to go to the inverse feature. And I thought it was in here. Matrix list. Oh, no, it's not in here. Because that's the identity. Okay, so let me see if this works this way then. Second matrix, we want the inverse of matrix A, X inverse. And there you have it. So the inverse matrix, I thought that button was already stored in the math menu. Apparently not. X the -1 will give you the reciprocal for that matrix A. So what happens here to find the inverse, what you do manually is you take 1 over the determinant of the matrix A and you multiply it, not to matrix A, I believe, now I'll have to rethink this, but I believe you have to switch the entry by hand. You switch these and negate those. So I'll have to find that and put that in there for you before I send the notes. But you don't have to worry about that, but the calculator will do that all for you. So this is 0.5, 0.5, and this is 0, and then this is 1/2. So I think what happens is switches these around and negates these. But I'll double check that there for you. And you do the same thing for matrix C. If matrix C has an inverse, it'll do it for you also. So second matrix, number 3, matrix C to the inverse, and voila. Now here, I'm kind of glad I did this because I wanted to make sure I find when it wasn't going to work. This tells you it's a singular matrix, so the inverse does not exist. So if I remember correctly, if I and I can show you why on the calculator also. If I go to second matrix, into math, and try to calculate the determinant of matrix C, so second matrix C, it's not going to exist. It's going to give you an answer 0. So since the determinant of C is equal to 0, you're not going to have an inverse. So no inverse does exist. Okay. But you can take the original matrix and still multiply it with an identity element. You can still do that. Having an inverse doesn't imply identity. It just means there isn't a matrix that I can multiply to see that give me the identity back. Okay. So in this case here, if I take matrix C now and multiply it with the identity matrix D, which I think I have stored in 4. See, I can get C back, but unfortunately, I can't multiply anything to this matrix C to give me that back because it has no inverse. All right. So these are some keystrokes. The only thing I haven't been able to remember is once you have all these matrices in your calculator, I don't really remember how to clear them all out without resetting my calculator. I don't think I want to oh, I guess I could reset my calculator. I have nothing here. So if I believe if you reset everything with your calculator, I believe it will clear out your matrices. I thought if I did a default reset, it will work. But the thing is, if you, so see, now you go to matrix C, they're all empty now. There isn't a fast way to clear the matrices like you do in lists. I'm kind of surprised by that. But again, usually when you take linear algebra, you're not allowed to use a graphing calculator anyways. So you would do all these by hand. But this just gives you a head start for college if you do end up taking an algebra course involving matrices and determinants. So give it a try. Tinker around here. And if you find a shortcut here willing to share, let me know. I'll just add that to my growing graphing calculator with matrices keystrokes here to help us out. Have a great day, and like I said, play around with the graphing calculator and see if this all makes sense. Thanks. Have a great day.